What is going on, everybody? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys with Dallas Stewart for the NFL 2021 Week 17 game picks. Dallas, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I just want to wish all the people out there a happy and safe New Year's.
Yep, Happy New Year's.
Yeah.
It's been tough with all the snow coming into our neighborhoods, so be safe out there if you're in Washington right now, especially in Western Washington with all the snow that's been coming down lately. So we went 11-5 in Week 16 with our picks. Not another bad record again. We did pretty good again.
Yeah, we did pretty good again.
All right, now we're on to Week 17. First off, we got the New York Giants taking on the Chicago Bears in Chicago. The Bears coming off of that 1-point win against us, that 2-point conversion. And I would say for that play, I would put that loss, like we said, I would put that loss on Russell Wilson taking that unnecessary sack and not throwing away, which made the kick harder for Myers. But Myers has to make that 39-yard field goal. Meanwhile, the New York Giants last week, the New York Giants got they had to start Jake Fromm. And who did they play last week?
They played the
Eagles. Yeah, Philadelphia.
The Eagles got their revenge from losing to them earlier in the year
That's
at
right.
MetLife.
That's right. I'm going to keep the list with me. Yeah, they did. So the Eagles and Giants ended up splitting, and is Nick Foles expected to start again for the Chicago Bears?
You know what? I don't know. Maybe Justin Fields will be back.
I got the Bears.
I got the Bears. The Giants are just worse, and they're bringing everybody back, it looks like. So that means they're going to be bad again next year.
Yes, they are. Up next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the New England Patriots. The Jaguars got beat by the Jets, though. The Jets had most of their guys on COVID, and the Patriots got beat by the Buffalo Bills, and now the Bills are in full control of the AFC East. Once again, rematch. Jaguars going back to New England for the first time since 2017 when they lost the AFC Championship to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. The year the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. I got the Patriots just slaughtering the Jags. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots bounce back after their mini two-game losing streak, and they just annihilate the Jaguars. And I think the Jaguars are getting the number one pick two straight years.
I also heard reports that the Jaguars are looking to Doug Peterson as their next head coach.
Doug Peterson. I also heard Jim Caldwell, the former Colt and Lion coach.
I also heard Byron Leftwich.
That would be interesting.
The Buccaneers
but if the
OC.
Jags can't beat the Jets when the Jets had 15 guys on COVID, there's no way in hell they beat the Patriots in Foxborough.
Not a chance. Up next, we got the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Cooper Kupp still having an amazing year. The Rams got it done against Minnesota. Meanwhile, the Baltimore Ravens, got swept by the Cincinnati Bengals, as we expected. We remember what happened last time when these two teams played in L.A. when Lamar had the 5 touchdown passes. And different story this time around. I got the Rams winning this game in Baltimore. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, give me the Rams to keep their late season surge going, and get to 12-4 with a chance to clinch the NFC West if the Cardinals lose to the Cowboys.
Yep. All right, up next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to MetLife Stadium taking on the New York Jets. Lock of the week, Tom Brady still owns the Jets. Give me the Bucs.
Yeah, lock of the week. This is going to be an absolute massacre. Give me the Bucs.
Yep. Up next, we got the Atlanta Falcons going to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. The Bills got revenge and split with the Patriots. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Falcons last week, the Falcons beat the Detroit Lions because Jared Goff was out on COVID. But different story taking on Buffalo. I got Bills.
Yeah, give me the Bills to keep it rolling.
Up next, we got Kansas City taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. The Chiefs just rolling. I think they will have the number 1 seed in the AFC side of the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bengals, they took care of their business and just got it done against Baltimore, sweeping them. And they look like they could be on pace to winning that division. But, man, it's close in the AFC North right now. But depending on what happens Monday night with the Steelers and the Browns and and just well, it'll be interesting. We know the Ravens are going to get clapped by the Rams, but I got the Kansas City Chiefs keeping it rolling and holding that number 1 seed.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs to keep their winning streak going. They're just clicking on all cylinders right now. They're on a mission to get that number 1 seed for the second straight year, and I believe for the 3rd time in the last 4 years.
Yeah. Whew. Up next, we got the Miami Dolphins taking on the Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill taking on his former team for the first time. I think this is the first time that Tannehill gets to take on his former team. Dolphins have been on a winning streak ever since starting out 1-7. They are now above 500, 8-7. Do they potentially have a chance for a wild card in the AFC?
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
But it's going to be tough because then after this they have New England.
Meanwhile, the Tennessee Titans on Thursday Night Football last week squeaked out a last-second win against the San Francisco 49ers. They were down for a little bit, came back in it, and they were just able to get it done. Tennessee trying to roll with all their momentum to get into the playoffs. Sorry, Miami, I think your winning streak comes to an end at the hands of your former quarterback. I got the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I got the Tennessee Titans as well. I believe they can clinch the AFC South with a win, and I believe that's what they're going to do. And they're going to deal a pretty big blow to the Dolphins' wildcard chances as the Dolphins currently hold the 7th seed.
Yep. Up next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders going to Indianapolis to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Colts dealt a big blow. Quarterback Carson Wentz out on the COVID reserve. And so what's Sam Ehlinger going to do? Is he just going to keep on feeding Jonathan Taylor? Colts had a huge Christmas Day win against the Arizona Cardinals on the road. Defense just got after Kyler Murray, and Matt Prater costed them again.
Yeah, he did.
Big time. Matt Prater costed the Cardinals. Meanwhile, the Las Vegas Raiders. What happened? The Raiders got it done against the Denver Broncos, completing their. Did they complete the sweep, or do they still play them one more time?
No, they completed the sweep.
Yep, Raiders completed the sweep, and man, Raiders going into a game at a huge advantage with the Colts not having Carson Wentz, but the Colts still have a bunch more of their other weapons on defense, like DeForest Buckner, and they got their secondary. They got most importantly, they have Jonathan Taylor, and they got T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton's been playing some good football for the Colts, but they're down their quarterback, and I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders to get a win on the road just because the Colts don't have Carson Wentz, but if Jonathan Taylor has a big field day, it could possibly go. It could go either way, depending on what they do with Sam Ehlinger. But I'm gonna give advantage to the Raiders, though.
Is it official that Wentz is out?
You tell me. What's the word been on Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. But if he's out, I'm gonna pick the Raiders.
Yeah.
They still have a slim chance at getting the wild card.
Indianapolis Colts to start quarterback Sam Ehlinger if Carson Wentz is ruled out. Team called Phillip Rivers. Wow. Indianapolis Colts put unvaccinated starting quarterback Carson Wentz on COVID reserve.
Yeah, he's probably not playing.
Yeah, so I'm going to...
Yeah, give me the Raiders. I think they're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah. So all right, we're going to put a circle around the Raiders, but I would be surprised if Sam Ehlinger... if he's able to do something. But what if Jonathan Taylor runs all over them? That could be a long day for the Raiders.
Yeah, and the Colts want to continue this late season run they're on. They're playing really well right now.
All right. Up next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington football team. Eagles split with the Giants. Meanwhile, the Washington football team just got absolutely obliterated on Sunday Night Football by the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, that game was over before it even started. That was probably one of the earliest check marks I had ever put in. I got the Philadelphia Eagles completing the sweep of the Washington football team.
Yeah, give me the Eagles. Washington's just free falling. I think they're definitely feeling the effects of losing Chase Young for the year.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are on a mission to get that final wild card after starting, I believe, the season like 2-5.
Yeah. Up next, we got the Denver Broncos taking on the Los Angeles Chargers in SoFi Stadium. The Broncos got swept by the Raiders, and meanwhile, what the hell happened to the Chargers against the Houston Texans? Man, the Texans dropped a 40-burger on the LA Chargers. That was my shocker. That was my shocker of the week, man. That was insane how that happened.
Was that one of our locks?
That was our lock of the week.
I think that was our lock of the
How many
the first time.
How many interceptions did Herbert throw that game?
I think Herbert threw like 2, and one of them was a pick 6.
One of them was a house call?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, man. And we all saw what happened last time these two teams played it. The Broncos just stuck to them. You know what? For the hell of it, I think Denver could probably do it again with the way their defense played against the Chargers. They have the Chargers number. I'm just gonna, for the heck of it. I mean, it could go either way. I'm gonna actually go ahead and I'm gonna take Denver to complete the sweep.
Yeah, this is a really tough one because Denver is just so up and down.
They are.
They're so Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
You know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm going to take the Chargers to bounce back.
All right. Split.
Because they're in desperation mode also at 8 and 7.
Yeah.
And they've fallen all the way to like the 9 seed. And a few weeks ago, I think they were at like the 5 or the 6. Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers to be pissed off after losing to the Texans on the road.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. But if Justin Herbert lays another egg like he did earlier in the season when we were watching Red Zone when Pat Surtain had those interceptions, I think one of those interceptions was a house call.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be something. All right, up next we got the Houston Texans taking on the 49ers. The Texans just stuck it to the Chargers. Meanwhile, the 49ers dropped one in Tennessee to the Tennessee Titans. The 49ers, I think they're starting Trey Lance from what I heard from CG.
Yeah, because Jimmy Garoppolo broke a ligament in his thumb or something like that.
That's what I've been hearing.
But the 49ers are still in a reasonably good spot because I believe they're still the 6th seed. But, I'm going to take the 49ers. There's no way. The Texans are due for a letdown.
Yep, circle around the 49ers. You and me both going 49ers. Up next, our game, the last home game of the year, Lions and Seahawks. I will be at this game. Player interaction still. I mean, it's been a rough season. Yet last week's definitely it was a microcosm of how frustrating the season has been. It's been a microcosm of the season. Lions basically dropped one to the freaking Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, we fell to Chicago. The frustrations, the rumors are going around for the season. If this is Pete Carroll's last home game, at least try to win the last home game of Pete Carroll. At least try to win the last home game and at least get revenge on Jared Goff for last year in the playoffs. But, man, it's just like, if we lose, I mean, it's either going to go like this. You know, we could lose or we could win. It doesn't really matter anymore. Our season's pretty much done. Either going to expect 6-11 or 5-12. We got to go 6-11 or 5-12. That's pretty much how it is. I mean, granted, we're going to have a high second-round pick anyway, since we don't have a first-round pick anyway. But I'm just going to go ahead. Last home game. Just at this point, we're in that mood of just get it out of the way. But I'm going to go Seahawks to get a win against the Lions. That way we don't go winless against the NFC North, which is still a possibility that could still happen, that we could go 0-4 against and get swept by the entire NFC North, which would be a complete embarrassment. But, you know, it's just a microcosm of how frustrating the season's been, and just get it out of the way. I'm going Seahawks, though.
Yeah, give me the Seahawks. I think they're pretty irritated letting that game slip away last week. They were in control of that game for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And they just fell apart in the 4th. I think they're really going to want to win their final home game because this has been their first losing season at home since 2008.
Yeah, a lot of fans have been losing their mind after one bad season in over 10 years.
Yeah, this is the most losses they've had since 2009.
Yeah, freaking.
Yeah, there's been some really frustrating losses this year, and if they had been able to win, some of those games, this season could have been a lot different.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Cardinals been on a 3-game losing. They're just falling off in typical Cardinal fashion, man. And the Dallas Cowboys are just rolling. You saw the way they annihilated Washington. Man, just got to say, man, Dallas Cowboys, they're rolling. And if it goes the way it's going to go and whatever seed the Cardinals get, there's a very good chance the Cardinals go to Tampa Bay to have to take on the Buccaneers. And I expect Arizona to be making an early exit with the way they're falling off. Give me the Cowboys to hand the Cardinals a 4th straight loss. There's no way they'll lose 5 in a row because they play us at the end of the season, but But it's going to push the Cardinals far, far back, and they're going to have to end up going on the road for the playoffs and probably making an early exit, which will be an indicator of that Pottsville curse still taking effect on the Cardinals. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, I hate to do it, but I'm taking the Cowboys as well.
I think Trayvon Diggs is going to have 2 interceptions of Kyler Murray, at least 2 interceptions. That's going to be one I'm going to make a prediction on that. I'm going to say at least Kyler Murray gets picked off twice. I mean, if there's a possibility it won't happen, but I'm going to say Trayvon Diggs has 2 interceptions on Kyler Murray in this game Sunday.
Yeah, the Cardinals have just not looked the same since that Monday night loss at home to the Rams. And I'm just not a believer in them right now.
I told you, I was never sold on them to begin with. I had a feeling injuries were going to catch up to the Cardinals. I had a feeling they were...
have.
Yeah, didn't I say at the beginning of the season, I think sometime while the Cardinals were rolling, that injuries are going to hit them sometime soon in the season?
Yeah, Hopkins got hurt, and them not having Watt, I think, has made a huge difference.
Murray got hurt for a little while, too. Granted, they dropped only 1 game without him, and that was with when Carolina went into their house and smoked them with Cam Newton.
Yeah.
And then dropping that game to Detroit. I mean, Cardinals are they're an absolute wreck right now. And you know what would make it even more what would be even more crazy too, is if when they go into the playoffs, there's a good chance they may end up having to take on Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, pending their seeding. And boy, that would be Bruce Arians giving Arizona the ultimate middle finger, coming off being a defending Super Bowl champs and having Tom Brady, just the way that he retired and took that year off and then came out of retirement and went to Tampa and got Tom Brady and won the Super Bowl last year. Talk about the ultimate middle finger in the playoffs, especially in the freaking wild card round, if it comes down to that.
Yeah, and the Cardinals just remind me of last year's Pittsburgh Steelers.
It really do.
Off 11-0, and then they just free-falled after that.
That's the Cardinals right there for you.
Yeah, they remind me of last year's Pittsburgh Steelers.
I could not agree with that, say it even more. Up next, we got the Carolina Panthers taking on the New Orleans Saints. The Carolina Panthers got obliterated by Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as expected. Meanwhile, the New Orleans Saints fell to the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football. Miami keeping their winning streak alive. The Saints are just, man. I mean, they had to start Ian Book that game, or was it still tasting?
Yeah, they did. The Saints have just been ravaged by injuries this year.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're even still in the wild card race.
You want to go first on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Saints to get revenge for that Week 2 loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Panthers are just terrible.
Yeah.
2-10 since that 3-0 start.
All right, you got to circle around the Saints for me on that one. All right, up next we got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. Green Bay Packers took care of their business, barely squeaked it out against the Cleveland Browns on Christmas Day. Meanwhile, Minnesota Vikings fell to the Los Angeles Rams. I got Green Bay getting revenge at home on Sunday Night Football for their earlier loss against the Vikings in Minnesota. I got the Packers getting revenge.
Yeah, give me the Packers to get their revenge and continue their pursuit of the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yep.
There's no way they get swept by the Vikings.
All right, last but not least, we got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Monday Night Football, Ben Roethlisberger's last regular season home game. And they could very well potentially get into the playoffs with whatever happens in the AFC North race. Anything could happen. I mean, the AFC North right now is up for grabs.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's going to be Cincinnati winning that division, but this is if Pittsburgh wins it, then Ben Roethlisberger will get one more home game in the playoffs. But, and Cleveland Browns, I mean, just the way that they almost pulled it off against Green Bay, that was an insanely good game. I mean, I think there were some missed calls, but, I think that pass interference on Rasul, that probably should have been a pass interference to put Cleveland in the field goal range to potentially beat the Packers. But, who are you gonna go with? This is a tough one. I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Steelers. I think they're gonna be motivated to win their final home game for Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, and that would be a sweep of the Cleveland Browns for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and I think it would eliminate the Browns from playoff contention, and I I'm sure they want to do that after the Browns one and done them last year at Heinz Field.
Yeah, pretty much. And there you have it for Week 17 picks. We got Bears over Giants, Patriots over Jaguars, Rams over Ravens, Bucks over Jets, Bills over Falcons, Chiefs over Bengals, Titans over Dolphins, Raiders over Colts, Eagles over Washington football team, split on Broncos and Chargers, 49ers over Texans, Seahawks over Lions, Cowboys over Cardinals, Saints over Panthers, Packers over Vikings, and Steelers over the Browns. And those are our Week 17 picks. Drop your picks in the comments down below, and we'll catch you next time. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.